well, what words do your students find tricky? And you gave me lots of good examples. Now, these are some of the ones that we've been making videos about, and a lot of you mentioned some of these, so I was very glad to hear it, because hopefully these videos will be useful for you as well as for me. And some of you gave me more words as well to get on with, to make more videos about. And I started off doing this thinking, oh, I've just made a few videos on perhaps, half a dozen of these. And I found the list just kept growing and growing and growing because there was so much to do. So what this session here is going to be about with you today is how we can exploit the power of video to teach tricky words, because I think video is such a powerful medium for solving some of the challenges for the students. And we're also going to talk about your post-course task and what I'd like you to do in that. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it, so stay tuned for that. Now, so let's explore the power of video today. And sometimes I'm not going to just focus on the good, because sometimes there are some problems that we can have with video as well, and I want to talk about those as well. But let's get going by actually watching a video. And the video that we're going to watch first is about alone and lonely. Now, do your students ever have difficulty? Put a yes in the chat if your students sometimes confuse these words. Oh yes, we've got a couple coming in. Indeed, someone says. They are tricky adjectives. I mean, they're both adjectives, but they can be very confusing for students. And so the way I like to start off often is just ask them the question, how is being alone different from being lonely? So that I can find out what's difficult about it for them and get to and understand at the start where their level of understanding is. And I often don't give any explanations, I just ask the question to find out, because I can give the best explanations by video. So, Jason or Michelle, can we post that first video now? We're going to go and watch one. Here we go, let's play it.
I'm American.
That's a long video. Can we have the alone and lonely video? We want to close that and listen to the other one instead. Yes, that is my hubby Nives. You're going to see him in all the videos. He's actually, he used to be a television producer. He used to work for CBS here in Philadelphia. No, one video still. Oh, here we go!
I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Take care. Be safe.
Okay, bye, darling.
Don't be lonely.
Bye.
Sometimes it's nice to be alone. I can choose the television channel. And I can read in bed with the light on. And I can turn the music up really loud. But after a while, I start to feel lonely. I want Jay to come home. Alone, on my own, with nobody else around. Lonely, alone and unhappy because of it.
Excellent, understand it. Oh, I'm glad you thought it was a good explanation. Nevis, you're right, I'm British and my husband is American, and we'll talk some more about later, because the videos that we make often contain British and American. So, going back to this video with Alone and Lonely, I let my students watch the video. Now, how can we make them, how can we give our students further practice, because I mean, it's great to watch the video in class, and obviously they're going to think it's fun, but what can we do to practice these words? Any suggestions? Dialogues. Yes, Elena. Role plays. Yes. Okay, and one of the things that I do is, I go through pictures from the video and I get them to fill in the missing words, so they have to recall what they heard. And I ask them to remember it. We're going to look at some other things that we can do with videos as we go through, but just going back, what is it that makes in that video, there was a little story, and I get my students to actually retell me the story. Jay went away, Vicki was very happy, she turned the music up loud, she danced around, but then she started to feel lonely. So at first she was glad to be alone, but then she felt lonely. And I think the stories can make things more memorable in the video. And obviously, videos are entertaining, engaging, fun, and motivating, but so are the stories. Stories are a very powerful tool. And what is it about stories? Of a good story. And the ancient Greeks, had studied stories a lot, and they were very interested in them. What is it that makes the good story? So have a look at these things here. What do you think the two crucial things are? If you had to choose just two things, what would they be? Of course, all the answers are sort of possible, but looking at these words, using emotions and discoveries, yes. I mean, there are no right or wrong answers here. I'm going to tell you what the ancient Greeks thought were more important, were the most important things. They thought it was the characters and it was the plot. And of the two of those, the thing they thought was most important was the plot. So the idea is, with a good story, that you have to have a character in there that you care about. You hook them with a character. And then we're interested to see what happens to that character. And often it's something bad. But we like to see how the character reacts to what goes on. We like seeing what sort of transformation, what the challenge, what the problem was, what that problem made happen for the main character. And so you saw that in a very, very basic level, because the Alone and Lonely video was only 1 minute long. But those things, in those videos, you can have a character that the students identify with, and then you can show things happen to them. And I think that's what can make stories so memorable. Now, I'm going to show you another video now, and this one is 2 minutes long. And this one is about some prepositions. And they're prepositions that my students find really very difficult. In a lot of languages, until and by will be covered by the same preposition. It's the same preposition to the same concept. And I actually had a teacher who used this video, who wrote to me today, and he said, I used this in my class today. And I was really surprised by how difficult my students found the concepts until and by. And I was really very glad to make this video, because I actually don't like teaching these prepositions when they come up unless I have the video with me, because I know that it's going to take a stack of good examples to explain it. It's a very difficult concept to get, I think. It's the same in Greek, you say, yes, and in Italian too. And it drives the Japanese and Korean students crazy. In Russia it's not a problem, that's right. So it it depends what language your students are coming from, but I think it's what we need in order to teach it is a stack of examples. So I'm going to show you another little video here, 2 minutes long this time, and in this one, I don't know if we can get that video up and running. Nope, that's the Alone and Lonely one again. Can we get the Until and Bye video ready? That would be great. And with the Until and Bye video, you're going to see another little story at the end. Let's see. Can we see it? Would you like me to play it? I think I could probably find it. Let's try it, see if it's this one.
I think he's coming on to do it. He had it up there before, but if we don't see it in a second...
Here we go. Excellent. Oh no, that's Alone and Lonely. We don't want that.
Teasing us. Vishal, don't tease us.
Oh, it stopped.
Until Bye. I'm just playing it.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's a terrible day, but it'll be nice by the weekend.
By, at or before a specific time.
Gorgeous day, and it's going to stay like this until the weekend.
Until. Use this for situations that continue up to a certain time. You can watch this until 9 o'clock, but then we're going to change channels.
What's happening at 9 o'clock?
Dancing with the Stars is on.
She loves that program. I need your report by Friday.
Friday is the deadline. You must give me your report on Friday or before.
I need your report until Friday.
I have your report and I'm going to need it all week.
I need your report by Friday. Can you give it to me on or before Friday? I need your report until Friday. After Friday, you can have it back.
So when will you be back?
Not until late.
Okay, I'll probably be in bed by the time you get home.
Okay.
Have fun!
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you in bed yet?
Yes.
I've forgotten my keys.
Yes.
I'll be back by 12. Could you stay awake until I get back? Hello? Hello?
Okay, excellent. So there we saw another little story at the end. Where Jay went out and I fell asleep, and so he couldn't get in because he'd forgotten his keys. And so before I watch the video with my students, what I normally like to do is just pose that question. You know, I might give them the example, but I ask them, what do they mean? And I see what they can tell me, and sometimes they find this very difficult, I said. But when we watch the video, we'll find out what they mean. And then I ask them to recall the missing words and remember the words that were said. But as somebody said earlier, what you can also do with videos like this is you can also set up a little role play. So after they've recalled the words they heard on the video, you can ask them to make up their own role play, and they can act out that situation that we had at the end where Jay went out. And I'll give them the words give them the pictures, so they've got picture prompts and they can see what they needed to, they can be reminded of the story, and then they'll act it out. I let them prepare beforehand. There's a lot of evidence to show in language teaching that if we give students preparation time before they perform a role play or a discussion activity, that the language they'll use is they'll use more difficult vocabulary, a wider vocabulary range, and they'll be more accurate. So when you're preparing little role plays like this, it's worth remembering that. Now this is going to be quite tricky for them, so you might find that you actually want to give them some word prompts to help them. But role play is an obvious activity that we can do as a follow-on after watching the videos. Now, we move along. Sometimes, though, we find ourselves teaching a language point that will actually lend itself to a different kind of practice activity after we've done the video. And I'm going to go on to another tricky word and phrase. I noticed that in the pre-course task, somebody from Germany said this word is a false friend for their students. And I wonder if it is for your students as well. Do your students confuse this word? What do they think it means? Really? Now, it does mean really, you're quite right, but in many languages, it's confusing students because they think it means currently. I think, Nevis, you said that. They think it means now, at the moment. It's a false cognate, as you say. And it can false cognate in a lot of languages. So we made a little video about it that shows the students the difference in meaning, but it also shows the students how to use this word. And I'd like to look at that now. So again, same procedure. I ask the students what does actually mean. I don't give them any answers at this point because I'm going to show them the video. And can we get ready to show the video now? This video is just 1 minute long. Here we go.
It must be really cold outside.
Actually, it's quite warm.
Oh, I'm surprised. Actually means really or in fact. We often use it to talk about something strange or surprising. It looks expensive, but actually it's quite cheap.
Really? How much is it?
I think it's about $50.
Really?
Actually doesn't mean at the present time. To talk about current actions, use expressions like currently or at the moment. We often use actually to correct someone politely. You've written $13, but actually it's 30.
Oh, is it?
Actually, that's my coffee. That's yours.
Oh.
Okay. So, we saw it in use there. And I don't know if you noticed, but one of the things that we can do in that video is show students how to use it. And I think that's the thing about video. Because there's context there, we can actually show the word in use. So we had this situation at the end, and I don't know if you remember this little dialogue. I think I've got it here for you. Where I'm constantly correcting Jay, and I'm saying, well, actually it's $30, not 13. And he says, oh yes, actually that's my coffee, not yours. And it sets up another possible practice task. Now, a practice task that you can do after all these sorts of videos is to get the students to write a little conversation where they use the word, and that's a lovely practice activity. But sometimes you get words like actually, where it's possible to set up another practice activity as well. In this one, you could make a little quiz. I use a little quiz with my students, and I ask them, how much do they know about the United States of America? And I get them reading out statements about the United States, and all the statements are wrong, and they have to correct them. So, for example, George W. Bush is the President of the United States, and they have to come in and say, oh no, actually the President is Barack Obama. And students love quizzes, like this. The pound sterling is the currency of the United States. Oh no, actually the correct currency is the dollar. Yay! Alright. So the students will come in and they'll get practice in actually using it for correction in context, in another context where they're correcting people who are getting things wrong. So, why do I love video? I asked my friend Barry Tomlin this. I don't know if you know Barry Tomlin. He used to work for BBC English. They used to create a lot of great videos for English language learners. And he said, the thing is, Vicki, everybody lights up when you put a video on. And we all know this. Videos are entertaining. They're so motivating. They're such fun. But I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it has its pros and its cons, its advantages and its disadvantages. And it's important for us to remember the disadvantages of video as well as the advantages. And one of the disadvantages with videos is students expect entertainment. If we press the play button on an audio player, then our students are not going to expect entertainment. They're going to expect to be working, to be listening hard. If we press the play button on a video, there's an expectation there because we love videos. We watch them on YouTube, we watch television, we watch videos on our DVD player. We expect entertainment. So there are higher standards of entertainment that we need to provide when we're playing videos with our students. And in fact, actually, that's why I'm such a big fan of Jason's videos, because those raps are entertaining as well. But I think there is this necessity there when we're providing videos to provide something that meets the student's expectation of entertainment as well. And that can be a challenge, And so some other things so that's one of the problems, I think, with videos, But of course, let's think about the big, big plus of video. And I asked my friend Peter Viney about this. I don't know if you knew Peter Viney. He wrote a lot of exceptionally good videos for Oxford University Press in the 70s and 80s before they closed down their video department. I wrote for that department too. It was a great time, I think, for Elt-T video. And one of the things Peter Viney said to me was, with video, you're taking off the blindfold. And what do you think he meant by that? What's going on with video that it takes off the blindfold? We see, yes. And people are visual learners, yes, that's true. Instant comprehension, yes. We get so much information in the pictures that helps us to understand. Absolutely. And, with videos, we see facial expressions, we see emotions. Everything does get clearer. And this is very important because if you think about it, what things mean changes depending on the context. With video, we can see the context. We can see who is talking to who. And the context really matters. If you take an expression where somebody is saying something, if if they're an old person, a young person, a rich person, a poor person, whatever it is, we can get much more information about their intentions, about what they mean, when we see the pictures that go with the words. And I'm going to give you a little phrase here, and I want to tell you what you think. I want you to tell me what you think it means, all right? I want you to imagine we're going round an art museum together, and I say to you, I point at a picture, and I say to you, that's a nice one. So what does the expression, that's a nice one, mean in that context? Yeah, it could mean it's a nice place. If I'm pointing at a picture or a sculpture, at a piece of art, it means I like that picture, doesn't it? I like that picture, I like that piece of art. Now, I'm going to give you the same expression, but in a different context, and I want you to tell me what it means, all right? So, we're in a greengrocer's store, and you are the person who is selling these fruits and vegetables, and I am a customer, and I point at one of those cauliflowers, and I say to you, that's a nice one. What do I mean? That's the one I want. You're absolutely right. In that context, that's a nice one means I want that one, sell me that one. That's the one I want to buy. So it really depends. An awful lot of their meaning gets conveyed by who's talking to who. You know? So when you go back, and I'm just going to go back to this slide here, context really matters. With videos, we're taking the blindfolds off and we're showing the students the context. And that's really important because meanings change according to context. And the wonderful thing about video, I think, is that with videos, we can leave the classroom. We can take our students to new places. We can take them out into the street, into the supermarket, into the station, into the newsroom, or into the office for work. We can even take them into the middle of the desert if we want. Video provides us with that opportunity, so it's a really powerful medium for language teachers because the classroom is a very confined context otherwise. Okay, now, something though about videos. And some of you mentioned this in the pre-course assignment. One of the disadvantages of video is it's a very powerful medium and sometimes it can go on too long. We can only show our students short videos because otherwise they get overloaded, bombarded with information. There's just too much. And what's the optimal length for a video? It's an interesting question. Up to 10 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. You've got some different answers there. Short and sweet, someone says. I agree. I asked Paul Maglioni this. Some of you will have seen him because he's another tutor on this course. And he said the optimal length is somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes. Now he was talking about on his site, English Attack. Some of you may know it. It's a great place. And it has lots of short videos there with lots of movie trailers and things like that there. And I found that's often the case because video is a supercharged medium. This quote comes from a very famous book about video, quite old now, but still often quoted, because students can get overwhelmed with it. There can be too much, too fast, and that is a recipe for disaster. So, what can we do about that? Now, some of you may use another site. I love this site. Do any of you use TED videos with your students? Your students' English will probably need to be quite good to do them, but I'm sure lots of us love to use them with our intermediate and advanced learners. And yes, they're great for engineering students because TED stands for Technology, Education and Development. And there are a lot of great science videos there. Very entertaining. Can you tell me, can you guess, what is the most viewed video on TED.com? Does anyone know? Can you guess? What's the most viewed video on TED.com? Ken Robinson, you're absolutely right. Good guess, well done. Okay, now, what's the most popular length for a TED Talk? Can you guess what that is? 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 9 minutes. Oh, interesting. Now, I kind of set you up for disaster with this. I was playing tricks on you because actually the most popular source for a TED Talk is 18 minutes. That's the most popular length. But of course, most of the people who are watching TED videos are actually native speakers. If you're watching a TED video and you're a non-native speaker, they're very, very hard. And this is the talk that I mentioned that's the most popular talk on TED. And there's something really cool about this talk and some of the other TED videos that I want to point out for you. Have you seen this button? It says Interactive Transcript. If your students press that button, they will see the script of the video, and in that script, they will be able to click on particular phrases, and the video will move to that point. So they have total control. They can play that video over and over again. It's a fantastic tool for language learners. And when I showed it to my students, their eyes lit up. And I was so interested in that. It inspired me. And it inspired me to go and create my own video website with the same technology because I think it's so useful for language learners. And it's called, the website that I created works with video trailers and all the language training videos that we make that you've seen today. And you can see it at simpleenglishvideos.com. And so you get a video. Here's a video, the latest one we posted with a Latin heartthrob. It's about a mariachi singer. And what the students can do is when they can click on the words underneath, and it will play that point in the video. So if they don't understand it, they can play it again. And also, if you look on the right on that site, you'll see a couple of other very important tools. There's a dictionary there. Can you see? The Longman Dictionary is there. So they can look words up in the Longman Learner's Dictionary. And another important tool, translate this page, Google Translate. Now we all know that Google Translate doesn't always work and we get some very strange translations. But if you're a beginner or if you're low level, sometimes being able to click that translate button and see that text in your own language is really useful. And it just gives you confidence to carry on. So I think, providing our students with the tools to help them cope with video is really useful. And luckily with technology, those tools are now around and we can use them. So, why was I so... There are two strands to this site. I'll just show them to you. There are lots and lots of videos of movie trailers. I love movie trailers because they're stories. They're only 2 to 3 minutes long. So that's what movie trailers. And then the other thing that's on the site is our videos. We have our own videos that we make there too. Oops, I'm just trying to get them up. Oh, we've got another video link coming up, but I don't want to see that. I want to move on to the next. Oh, well, we'll watch. Hang on. Okay, that video's come up a little bit soon. Would you like to see it? Why not? Why not? It's It's a video about sensible and sensitive. So, and who's this character that you can see at the beginning? Harry! You're right, it's Harry Potter. He's got a beard, hasn't he? Okay, let's watch this video with Harry. Now, sensible and sensitive adjectives. See if this video would explain the words for your students. Let's see.
Dum-dee-dum-dum, dee-dum-dum.
Sensible and sensitive are both adjectives, so what's the difference? So how long will it take to drive to Connecticut?
About 5 hours.
Well, be sensible. Pull over and take a rest if you need to. Stop! That's not a sensible way to do it. Someone who is sensible is reasonable. They show good judgment. How many of these have we had?
Only 2 each.
I think we should put them away.
I guess that's sensible.
Being sensitive is about feelings. I love ice cream, but my teeth are sensitive to cold.
Carter has sensitive skin, so I have to put this ointment on him. Good boy. Good boy. Okay.
They can be physical feelings or emotional ones. I hate my new haircut.
Well, go back and complain.
Oh no, can't do that. My hairdresser's very sensitive to criticism.
What?
She takes everything very personally. If someone is sensitive, they're conscious of and able to understand other people's feelings and emotions. Look what Jay's sister gave him for his birthday. Do you like it?
I absolutely hate it.
What did you say when she gave it to you?
I said thank you very much. I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Oh, he's sensitive like that. Oh, a Skype call. It's Harry Potter.
Dum-dee-dum-dum, dee-dum-dum.
Harry?
Hey, Vicky, yeah, it's Harry.
You've got a beard. Is it really you?
Well, yeah, look.
Oh, that scar looks red and sore.
Oh, well, it is a bit sensitive today. It's itchy. Ah! Oh! Oh! Ah!
Oh, Harry.
Well, I guess scratching it wasn't a very sensible thing to do.
Go ask Hermione to put some ice on it.
Okay.
Hey, YouTubers, stop! There's more work to do. Check out this video on some other tricky words and phrases. Or go to my other playlists for more English lessons. Happy studying!
Okay. So as you can see there, all these videos are available on YouTube as well as at my site. Oh, I'm glad you like it. So there are lots of videos up there and they're free. You can go and use them. And if you go to my site, this site, you'll find these videos here. There's Harry Potter there. And there it's available with a clickable transcript. And that's really useful for teachers because we like to make worksheets. So we can just cut and copy that text to make gap fill exercises or whatever we want, role plays. And we can also, I've actually started putting some other materials up there in the store as well. If you want to have PowerPoints, you can go and buy them. They're only $2, so you know they're all there, and you can also see them on my YouTube channel as well. Now, so that was the sensible and sensible one. I ask the students before it starts again, what's the difference? I get them to remember the missing words, what went wrong. They can act it out, that conversation between Harry and I. And something else I like to get doing with these activities is to transfer the language to their own context, to use the words in the context of their own lives. So here are some examples that they can do in a discussion activity afterwards, where I get them to think of examples of how they would use the words, but related to their own world, to their own lives. Okay, now, when I created a lot of these videos, I thought that they would be used very often in a flipped classroom situation. So where the teacher sending the students off to watch the videos on their own at home, and then doing interactive activities in class afterwards. And what I found actually is that some teachers are using them in their lessons as well. And there was a lady called Diana England. She works for International House. A lot of you may know that organisation. I was actually trained by them many years ago, and I worked for them in Algeria and in Tokyo. And Diana is the DOS of the school in Portugal for International House. And she gets her teachers and her students using these videos. And she had a wonderful idea for using them that we are going to be using in our post-course task. And what she does in her videos is, with her students, is when the students have finished working on the 1 minute or 2 minute or whatever it is videos that I've created, she gets her students writing their own videos and making their own videos. And that's what we're going to be doing in our post-course task. So let me tell you what it's about. You can make the videos if you wish, but most importantly, you're going to be scripting them. And boy, it would be fun to make a video together, wouldn't it? But anyway, even if you don't have access to cameras and making them, we can still do the scripts. And it's the scripts that's really where the work comes for the students, the good activity. So, your task is, what can you teach in 2 minutes or less and how? And I want you to pick a language point. And it could be one of the language points I've already taught. Or there are lots of other language points, tricky words and phrases that you've already identified in your pre-course task that you know that your students have difficulties with. And what you've got to do is write a script to teach those words and phrases in a video. And if you write some great scripts, then I'll make the video for you if you can't make it yourself. Alright? Does that sound like a good idea? But it's a wonderful task that you can do with your students as well. So do it yourself, and if you do it yourself, then you'll be able to do the same thing with your students in your classes too. So this is what's involved. You've got to choose some tricky words and phrases first. So choose words that you know your students have problems with. Don't make it a big language point. Don't try to teach the present perfect or something like that. It's not going to work. You can't do that in 2 minutes. I know, I've tried. Can't do it. You've got to keep it short. It's going to be a short video, so you've got to keep your teaching point very short. Remember, you can't bombard the students too much. So very important. Choose words and phrases that you can teach in a very short video. Next thing, research them. What is it your students need to know? I find the Longman Learner's Dictionary very good, the Oxford Learner's Dictionary very good. Michael Swan, Practical English Usage. Do you use that book? Oh, I can't find it. But it's an excellent book. I research on the web. Other teachers have often had other ideas that they've posted on the web. And I try to create, I know that Jay and I can record. So I have to choose good context for my examples, but I also have to choose something that's practical for us to record as well. You know, are we in an office? at the supermarket. I can record these things, but they're a bit more difficult. What's a good context for the language? That's what I have to work on next. Then I write the scripts. I keep them short, I keep them brief, because the videos can't get too long. And when I've written the scripts, that's when I generally write the explanations. I write the little parts where I'm explaining the words that come up in the video. And that's your post-course task. You're going to do the same thing. Is that clear? Do you understand? Oh, good. People are saying yes. Good. Other question. Do you like the sound of that task? Oh, good. Excellent. Great. And if we all put our ideas together in the post-course task, we're going to have some fantastic ideas for scripts for new videos. And we're going to have lots of teaching ideas for when our students come to do this themselves. So, if you've got questions at the end, we'll take them at the end, and I'll be posting this in the post-course task assignment, so you'll be able to check up on it there. Now, we've just got 5 minutes, so I thought I'd finish with a video that nobody has seen yet. It's a new video, and it's actually still unlisted on YouTube because I haven't shared it with the world yet. And it's completely very different from my other videos. But I'm going to show it because a lot of you were mentioning, in the pre-course task, you were mentioning that words that your students found difficult because the pronunciation was difficult. It was a tricky pronunciation issue that was coming up. And I thought I'd show you a video that I've made with my husband Jay, because in British and American English, there are lots of words that are pronounced slightly differently. So we actually have some communication problems ourselves with words that are pronounced differently. Can you think of any examples of words that we might pronounce differently in British and American English? Oh, aluminium, good guess. That's there. Tomato, tomato, exactly. Okay, so can we pull that video up now and play it? That would be great. Thank you. Here we go.
I am English.
I'm American.
I speak English.
I speak American.
I say tomato.
I say tomato.
And oregano, the herb.
And oregano, the herb.
In our leisure,
In our leisure,
we like ballet.
we like ballet.
A matinee.
A matinee.
A ballet matinee. Our relationship is clearly very fragile.
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 It borders on emotionally volatile.
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 It's futile.
Futile.
Don't get hostile.
Hostile. I eat pâté.
I eat pâté.
Like a gourmet.
Like a gourmet.
I take vitamins.
Vitamins.
I use vaccine.
Vaccine.
I take one route.
My route's different.
I narrate.
No, you narrate.
And you dictate.
No, I dictate.
You've got to translate.
Translate.
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Canterbury.
Canterbury.
Leicester.
Leicester.
Worcester.
Worcester. It's a controversy.
Controversy. There's no respite.
No respite.
Degas, Monet, Manet, Renoir.
Degas, Monet, Manet, Renoir.
We've no defense.
No defense, no privacy.
Privacy. Dynasty.
Dynasty. It's Z.
It's Z.
It's boy.
It's buoy.
I like bananas.
I like bananas. It's a vase.
It's a vase. It's a garage.
It's a garage. Aluminum.
Aluminium. I am English.
I'm American.
I speak English.
I speak American. We can't dictate.
We can't dictate.
We've got to translate.
Translate. Hey YouTubers, stop. I'm going to be giving a webinar about some more of the curious differences between British and American English for the International Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language. It'll be a lot of fun and it's free for all, so check the information below for the link. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet...
Okay, excellent. So, we had actually, it was funny making that video because we've lived together a long time now, and sometimes we pronounce it the other way round, so we'd get halfway through and then we'd realise we'd said it the wrong way. It's actually, I think, a good way to introduce the International Phonetic Alphabet to students, because there are all these words there. I mean, they might not be familiar with them, so I use some pictures to help them, you know. But you can show them the International Phonetic Alphabet pronunciations of the word, and they can kind of figure them out and try and work out what they are. Okay, at the end of that video I mentioned another video, another seminar that I'm going to be giving, and I just want to mention this because it's another free resource for teachers. And they've had some fantastic speakers. They've had David Still spoken, Scott Thornberry's done a session, Kelly did a wonderful session, and I'm going to be doing a session on the 19th of October, so please put that in your diaries and come and see it. It's great. It's all free. So, back to our post-course task, and any questions. That's the end of my session, if you like, but if you have questions, I'd love to hear them. Jason, I haven't been able to keep up with the chat, so perhaps you could tell me.
It's just been amazing, the chat. The chat has been less about asking questions and much more about participating and commending you on this great material. So we do have some questions about editing videos and making videos. Since you have the super simple English video name, it might be nice to talk about not just how clear and you make the content in the videos themselves, but is there anything super simple about making videos? And I think there is, and we could talk about that. I can also help students talk about that. This is a good topic for a class in a future MOOC, and yes, we will be returning Elt-T, so we could do something, set up something maybe with you and me and Mao and Drew Badger from English Anyone to talk about that. But we could start today a little bit in the Facebook group about how to make videos, because there are a lot of people, I think, getting more encouraged, more courage watching us do this and thinking, you know, maybe I could try that. So that's the post-class task is ideal for the last week here. And if people have the time and can make the videos, great. But as Vicki said, it's more about conceiving them and scripting. And I think, Klaus, I hope you were joking back there with, oh, we do the work and you get all the credit, because it's not like that. Michael Marzio also has asked us for a post-class assignment to think of ways to make lesson plans for real English, and he will use those lesson plans and put your link to your blog or wherever you like to give you credit. And of course, we would do that kind of thing too. There's a terrible story about the Coca-Cola company and what they did to get the Fruitopia design by submit things and then not giving them credit. But anyway, someone wants me to rap in order. Well, I don't have time to rap. Not today. You don't need a rap today. I can just tell you, Vicki Hollett is, as much as I like rap, I just want to say, I'm so impressed with what she and Jay are doing, and it's just going to get better and better, and most importantly, their audience is going to grow exponentially. I can see it now, and I hope I have the opportunity to work with them more, which is something we've talked about, and I can certainly see ways that I'd like to work with them and ways we could do things together, and they are not far away from me. I've actually been at that kitchen table and got some cookies too.
I didn't put them away.
Yes, that's right. Jay is extraordinary as an actor. I mean, so are you. But I mean, there's definitely he's definitely got something special going on.
But he's got a lot of experience, remember, because he used to be a news producer, and in a lot of the videos too, sometimes there are words where it's best presented as a news production. So we put him in a set where he's a television reporter presenting the news.
You can do anything. You can do anything. I mean, what a team! It's just great, and you can see everybody here is enjoying it. And came right out and said, "I'm a teacher," and I felt a little ashamed because I'm not even sure I mentioned that. But that is what makes this so incredible is the experience Vicki has teaching in the classroom, and also the course book writing. So course books as these two-dimensional paper things are out the window, but what's behind all the great coursework material, of course, we still need and want and will use. So this is what's so exciting about someone in Vicki's position now. I think really going to be calling the shots.
It is an exciting time for me, I feel now I would never like to go back to just having to write audio dialogues again, because the possibilities with video are so much greater, and it's just so much clearer and more understandable for the students. It's the sort of I look at it and think, why would anybody want to teach that without video?
Absolutely, and I have to say, when you're talking about the double-edged sword and the disadvantages, I mean, I'm very biased in favor of video, but I have to say, personally, I feel the double-edged sword comes into play more about how you use them. So, it can argue that there really isn't any disadvantage to them when they're used the right way. But what you said is very telling, and I think a bit modest, and I'm glad that you are modest. But when you say that students have to be entertained, they want to be entertained. But I think you put on your videos, and they will be. Full stop. And I think if you put on video and it's not entertaining, then let's get another video. Because entertainment is learning. Learning is entertainment. I said it before. I'll say it again. In a few years, I predict people will look back and say, why did we ever think they were different concepts? Entertaining is learning, and learning is entertainment. So either you're going to be learning some terrible stuff, but it's entertaining, or you're going to be someone's going to push you to learn something. It's not entertaining, therefore you don't.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of videos for teaching on the internet, and some are really good, and some are really bad as well. And I think the business about entertainment is, it's actually a challenge for us as writers, because it holds us to higher standards. We're accountable for more. So we have to go that extra mile. We have to get better. And I mean, I think the materials are just going to get better and better, as we learn more and more about how to do these things.
How we learn how to do it, and how we learn to respond to what students really like. And not surprisingly, they like authenticity, because we all like authenticity. So, Vicki and Jay are not two characters from, Interchange or Side by Side or some textbook jumping out into this fake video. There's no way to do that anymore. It's one thing when you've got a textbook and that's what you've got some video that goes with the textbook. But that's all over now. People want to know you. You're real people, and you're doing it yourselves. And this is why the next few years are going to be very exciting.
Yeah, yes, I think so. I'm so glad that I wish it had happened 20 years ago, but at the same time, I'm so glad I'm still here and around for it now.
Oh, come on. I think this is it. This is the time for all of us. It's very exciting. And when I say all of us, I mean all of us here, because look what you're going to do for this post assignment. You see this? This is the kind of collaboration that's only possible with technology and with the end of the, we have to make a book and it takes months and then we have to publish it and maybe you can work with us on this book. It's all over. So, we can bring in anyone who's motivated and creative, and people can have different roles in designing the kind of work that Vicki's asking to do here. It's just fabulous. Go, please.
And it's such good practice for our students to do this. I mean, I think students get motivated by a task like this. When you say, write this script, shoot this video, they become the teachers themselves. And it's so motivating for them. And, a lot of them, it's bring your own device. You use the cell phone they have with them or whatever in the classroom. We don't have to know an awful lot about technology. And very often the students know the tools for editing the videos themselves. They know how
it's just going to get easier and cheaper and cheaper and easier. So I really want to strongly urge teachers not to worry about the technology side, because, you might think I know a lot about it. It's absolutely the opposite. Because it's gotten so simple, someone like me can get in and do it. I mean, that's the way to think about what's happening. So, they're really, and for students, if you teach somewhere where the school doesn't have a lot of resources and families don't have a lot of money, I understand there may not be all these crazy tools, but it's going to get easier and better. And remember, these schools are not going to have to spend money on textbooks and buy all this stuff in the future that they used to have to, spend their money on. So I don't see, this. I don't see this being a problem. In fact, it's just going to get easier and easier to do things like this with students.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, why don't we just take a couple questions? We have 2 minutes. At the 1 mark, we'll say goodbye. So let's see. Any questions I could ask Vicki right now? We can also continue this later. We have a Facebook group.
I think I'm coming to Cologne this year in November. I'm coming over to Europe. I'm going to go to Prague as well, and to the UK. And so perhaps we'll meet in Cologne. Who was it? Was it Philip? I couldn't see.
I think so. And I'll catch you there too. Great question from Rebecca. How many hours does it take to make a 1-minute video?
Probably about 20.
20.
Because, I don't know. How long does it... Jay's here. Jay, how long does it take
Jay.
How long does it take to make a 1-minute video?
Well, it takes an hour.
It's our star.
Shoot, altogether.
Yeah.
And then another 8 hours of editing, I suppose.
Yeah, and then there's more time. It takes Jay a long time to set up the lights.
Yeah. Let me just also tell you that, maybe you can see they do very professional level stuff. So when they're talking about setting up the lights, they have a green screen. It's not like when I set up my lights for my videos. They're different levels and different ways of doing it. And it's just like teaching. You can have just a blackboard and a piece of chalk. If you're an engaging teacher, you make it happen. If you can have all the technology in the world and make a crap video. So, the reason they're making them this way is they have some experience with this and work in television and things. You don't have to do it that way. You can make something and be just as effective, really.
I mean, the first videos I made, you know, I was shooting them on a really little cheap camera, and I was editing them in free software. And now...
We gotta go! We gotta go! I don't want to get it cut off, because people that watch the recordings, people that watch the recordings, when it gets cut off, it's kind of unfair for them. We're gonna say goodbye. Oh, we got 5 extra minutes. Oh, Vishal is so nice. But we should stop anyway, Vishal. He gave us the 5 minutes, but we better get out of here or we're never going to get out of here. Vicki, thank you so much. Jay, glad you could make a little cameo appearance in the class. This will not be the last time you see these folks working with me, I hope. And it certainly shouldn't be the last time you watch their videos or show your students. It's such excellent material. And see you tomorrow. Thank you, Noya. I'm going to be here tomorrow for the last class in the MOOC. We are going to do another MOOC tomorrow. I will tell you about that. We will have a break between the MOOCs, but we will be doing some things during the break. So in a sense, it's never going to stop. Depends on how much time you have to be involved in these, but we will have another one coming up in the fall with a different topic, which I will announce tomorrow. This vocabulary book has been just wonderful. As you can see, Vicki and Jay are perfect for this theme, but also the next theme, Vicki, this is another one of your specialties, so hopefully we can welcome her back again. Goodbye, everybody. Never-ending story, the never-ending festival. Thank you so much for your participation. Love you, Elt-T. Peace and mucho respect. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.